What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you GLS content today, Genesis League Sports and Genesis League Goals. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I wanted to talk about the tokenomics side of Genesis League Goals. And yes, I have not yet had the chance to play the closed beta. I did not get 100 packs, so I'm most likely just going to wait until the launch. I think I'm going to have to wait until the launch. So whenever that happens, I will jump into gameplay. But so far, again, I'm excited to give it a try. So I wanted to focus on the tokenomics side, specifically looking at GLX, because I've been getting a lot of questions on Twitter and in the comments here about, when does the SPS airdrop end and all these other things. And I figured if we just take more of a bird's eye view approach over the next, we'll call it 3 to 4 months, there's some known quantities, and by quantities I mean like events that are happening or in the works that will impact the amount of GLX and the total dilution that's happening, as well as burns potentially. So burns and staking. So here's what I wanted to take a look at, right? As it stands, GLX is trading a little bit under a penny. And you have 206 million tokens that have been issued out. Now, the total staked is actually about 70%, which is significantly high, I would say. I mean, for a long time, Splinterlands and SPS was not in that same boat. We were always at about 50-50, and now with the SPS staking requirements, that has obviously pushed up closer to like a 60-40%. So here's the lineup, right? And I'm just going to lay them out in somewhat chronological order of what we know. Coming up, and this is just based on the last town hall, we know that we know that there's going to be some kind of burn event where you burn GLUSD and you'll get some kind of skills and there'll be rewards similar to the Great Burning 5-year anniversary event for Splinterlands. Now, there are, as it stands, currently a total of 333,000 GLUSD. So we've burned actually a significant amount of GLX, which again, if we go over here, let me just hop over to Splinter Cards to show. You can see here that we've actually burned over 11 million tokens, which is like over 5% of the current supply. And I don't think the rest of the stats here are correct, like the minted GLX. I'm going to trust the website, but you can see, we've burned 11 million GLX. And that has gotten us, roughly 300,000 GLUSD. So how much of that GLUSD do we end up burning? I don't know for this upcoming event, but hopefully it's something significant. And if it does pass the 300,000 mark, which I don't necessarily think that it will, because keep in mind we burn about like $500,000 worth of value in the Splinterland side. I don't know that we would burn like a 500,000 or more than 300,000 for GLS. It just seems too small for right now. But if we do, and people end up needing GLUSD, we could see GLX burned for that as that event comes in. Next, we also have gameplay coming up, which could, increase the amount of people who have to stake in order to earn rewards. We know that's going to be a thing that was just implemented on the Splinterlands side and was very effective at getting people to stake more and increasing the stake. Now, we're already at 70% here, so will we move a lot higher? I don't know, but if you get new players coming into the game that just want to buy GLX, that could be, that could be something. And then the final aspect in terms of we'll call them, they're not real sinks, but areas in which GLX could be staked or burned. The final one will be once the game goes live, there will be community stadiums, and you'll have to stake GLX onto there, right, in order to participate in the earnings. And I think there's going to be some good returns potentially from that overall. Now, here's the thing. It's going to be across the board, right? There's going to be one for each token. You can stake GLX, GLUSD, and then GLGT. I'm going to leave GLGT out because it's not, correlated with anything else here. But the cool thing is that with it's not called the Great Burning, but with whatever the burning event that they have, if that plus the staking amount on the GLUSD stadium, for example, requires more, we could see actually GLX burned there. So not just GLX getting staked on there, but GLX getting burned as well for GLUSD, which will be staked. So all of those are pretty decent catalysts, I would say. And if we had to, if we can add on to that, and these are the actual known quantities, because I'm assuming that we're going to get all of those aspects over the next 3 to 4 months. Again, I could be wrong, but all of those gameplay, the full launch, rewards, all that, I do expect that to go live at some point. Now, at some point over the next 3 to 4 months. Now, the known things that will shut off the faucets, the airdrop ends, I believe, October 24th, because it began October 25th of 2022. It's going to run for 1 year exactly. And so that will be shut off as a faucet. And, I know the GLS folks complain about this all the time. They've been wanting to they've been wanting to stop the airdrop early just because they're blaming a lot of Splinterlands players for just selling their GLX and buying Splinterlands assets or just taking whatever, which again, I definitely believe is happening. I don't know the quantity or the extent to which it's happening, but it definitely is happening. So when you think through like, that's going to be ending in 3 months, right? We're going to get, 3 more months of the airdrop, but that's finished at the end of October. And then you can see here for the staking rewards, which was another 100 million, that's going to end in 111 days. So under 4 months. So we're looking at like mid-November potentially at, both of these faucets, the staking and staking rewards and the airdrop being completely finished. Combine that with upcoming use cases, hopefully within the game over the next couple of months. And that starts to get really exciting because there's not as much GLX out there, and hopefully the utility for it increases. The game continues to grow and develop. We start to build, a larger player base, and that the MLS will actually be going into its playoffs. I think in October. And if you didn't watch the game yesterday with Messi and Inter Miami, he scored. I mean, what an incredible first game for Messi. That was awesome. So hopefully that will entice people to get more into MLS, and that for MLS fans for MLS and crypto fans, that crossover to start exploring this as Genesis League Gold starts to ramp up its overall marketing. Now, on the flip side, we've talked about all the different kind of syncs and endings of airdrops and staking and all that. There are potential faucets that will turn on, right? The first of which is the most obvious. It is the 85 million tokens, which will be distributed. And I forgot how long it's going to go. I think it's for 60 months. So it's not just 1 year, but for the play to earn rewards. So when the game actually does launch, right? When the game launches later, hopefully this month, the rewards won't be live, but I'm assuming, it's not going to be 4 months before the awards or rewards are implemented. So at some point over the next 3 to 4 months, I do believe that's going to happen. The other part of this too is, keep in mind, one of the other aspects, and they talked about it on the recent town hall, is liquidity pools, right? And I don't know if they're doing LP or DeFi partnerships, but that could potentially go live as well, because if they're marketing this game, I think having the LPs go live is a huge part of it, mainly because Hive is a very small chain. So I'm expecting GLX or the GLS platform to be bridged out, the GLX token to be bridged out to both Ethereum and the BNB chain, similar to what Splinterlands currently has. So if that ends up happening, and I have no idea, I'm expecting it to happen over the next couple of months, just because like once the game is launched, I feel like they're going to start rolling out a bunch of different things. So if that does happen, that could bring in another, I think 100 million. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go and see if we can check the white paper for this now. Reward pools, Genesis League goals. Oh no, we need to go to the full Genesis League sports white paper. Either way, I won't open that up now. But point being that there's going to be a lot of GLX that will start hitting the ecosystem. But in a way, if you're required to stake in order to earn, that's going to be huge, because we're seeing that impact with SPS. And then on top of that, I do believe the LPs, at least initially, could be a catalyst, right? Yes, it's going to add a lot of token dilution, but overall it will add a lot of value and utility for tokens, just because I'm expecting those APRs to be very high, the same way they were for SPS when those LP rewards went live almost a year ago. And I do believe, for Splinterlands folks out there, we saw SPS in July of 2022 to September, essentially do a 2x, going from 4.5 cents to 9 cents. And I know part of that was driven by Rift Watchers, but I also think an unspoken part of that was, or a big part of that was the liquidity pool rewards, just because the APRs were super high at the time. So it actually made sense to go and buy SPS in order to receive and earn more. But how that works out with GLS, I'm not sure. I'm expecting it to have a similar kind of effect that normalizes out over time. But again, I always talk about the fact that this ecosystem is mostly pristine for the most part. We might have a little bit of an overhang of GLUSD, but it's not as bad as what we saw with DEC for Splinterlands. So at the end of the day, I think we're in a good spot, and I am very excited to see where things move forward. And you know what? I will save. Well, we'll save this for another day. But I would love to dig into the reward pools here as we start to see more and more. Okay. Oh, there you go. 100 million GLX tokens will be released over the course of 65 months. So keep in mind, this was 85 million now because 15 million were paid out to pack holders. But that's all I got in this video. I'll keep it. It's not short and sweet anymore, but I'll go ahead and cut it here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys to get a broader understanding of where the GLX token and token economy is right now. But otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.